The tale commences with an unusual woman who exhibits a fascination towards a particular scent. Upon realizing that it emanates from an eternal body, she rushes in the direction of the fragrance, elated at the prospect of consuming it to attain immortality. The setting changes and we are introduced to the protagonist, Chen Chenggen, a transmigrator who is famished. He wonders why other transmigrators have it easier than him, as his life since arriving in the immortal world has been an arduous struggle. His meridians are obstructed, preventing him from cultivating, and to add to his troubles, he possesses the coveted eternal body, which numerous monsters and demons covet. After being plundered repeatedly by these creatures, his body and mind are left battered, and his sect is destroyed. His master has no choice but to conceal him in an immortal temple to protect him from harm. Chen is deeply frustrated that his physical attributes have deprived him of the life he had desired. In a fit of rage, he screams out to the heavens, challenging the thief god to strike him with lightning. To his astonishment, his request is granted. Despite his persistent hunger, Chen resigns himself to sleep, anticipating his master's return with roasted chicken. However, his slumber is abruptly interrupted by the appearance of the enigmatic lady from earlier. Chen is bewildered, and before he can gather his thoughts, the woman plants a kiss on him, captivated by the flavor of his eternal body. Chen, still perplexed by the mysterious woman's behavior, attempts to push her away. However, she persists and forcefully attempts to enter his body. Struggling with the woman, Chen questions whether she is a human or a ghost. To his horror, the woman reveals herself to be a ghost, with a frightening expression. Chen is shocked, as his master had placed a seal on the temple to prevent such entities from entering. His thoughts are interrupted by the woman, who proceeds to consume him. As Chen contemplates his impending death, a system notification suddenly appears, transporting his consciousness to a secluded space. The system identifies Chen as the host of the invincible domain, granting him a protective shield that spans 2 meters. Realizing his newfound power, Chen tests it out by pushing the ghost away, much to her surprise. However, the ghost launches another attack, excited by the challenge. Chen counters with a swift uppercut, releasing a surge of energy that obliterates her existence. Chen is amazed at the power he has gained, but his excitement is short-lived as the system informs him that he has earned 10 points for killing the ghost, and he can increase his invincible domain by 1 meter for every 100 points he accumulates. Chen realizes that if he can expand his invincible domain to cover an entire continent, he could rule it. However, the system is unable to provide him with a clear method for obtaining more field points, leaving Chen frustrated. Exhausted and starving, he collapses. The scene shifts to the upper immortal world, where a building suddenly explodes, and the holy immortal sword flies out. A furious man appears and summons the 12 immortal generals, who pay their respects to him. With a stern expression, he orders them to retrieve the holy immortal sword and kill anyone who covets it. Without hesitation, the generals disperse to carry out his command. The scene returns to Chen, who upon regaining consciousness is still starving. He considers eating sand to fill his stomach, but quickly dismisses the idea in annoyance and throws the pot of sand away. He wonders how the ghost was able to bypass the restrictions set by his master in the temple, but he realizes he has no cultivation and can do nothing about it. Chen then tries to test if he could move with the invincible domain, but his hands go outside, causing him to feel a strong cold sensation, leading him to believe there is a ghost outside preventing him from moving. Chen decides his only option is to increase his field value, as he wouldn't be able to survive outside the invincible domain. Suddenly, Chen hears some noise and we see a girl named Ling Bauer crashes into the temple, stunning Chen. Soon after, a golden core cultivator named Li Xiao, the great elder of the evil dragon cavern, walks in and threatens her. As they argue, Chen at first hesitates to interfere, but eventually decides to take action, upon realizing they must have food, and becomes excited at the prospect. As Lin Bauer urges Chen to escape, he instead gives them a menacing stare and questions how they dared to break into his temple, demanding that they make it up to him with some food. Despite Lin Bauer being stunned by his arrogance, Li Xiao becomes annoyed and charges an attack towards Chen, only for it to be blocked by the invincible domain to Chen's surprise. With a plan to lure Li Xiao into his invincible domain, Chen makes fun of him. Li Xiao is annoyed by Chen's arrogance and summons a bright red sword, right before charging at Chen. However, Chen uses the invincible domain to catch the sword and break it, right before giving Li Xiao a tap on the face that kills him. After killing Li Xiao, Chen realizes that he has gained 500 points, and understands that the higher the level of the cultivator he kills, the more field value he gains. As he ponders this, the system interrupts him to ask if he wants to use his field value to increase his invincible domain, and he eagerly accepts. With his invincible domain expanded, he searches Li Xiao's body for food while Lin Bao watches in amazement, wondering if Chen is a skilled expert hiding in the Xiwandashan mountain. Chen discovers a storage ring but realizes that he cannot open it without a cultivation base. He calls up to Lin Bao, prompting her to introduce herself and thank him, much to his surprise. Chen throws the storage ring to her and asks if she can open it, to which she says yes to. He then asks if he can get something to eat, and she also agrees to this request. The scene changes, and we see Chen carrying a roasted chicken, brimming with excitement. As he's lost in thought, Lin Bao interrupts him by kneeling down and asking if she can be his disciple. This request leaves Chen stunned once again. Lin Bao jumps up and begs Chen to take her as his disciple, but he pushes her away, unsure of what he can teach her with no cultivation base. However, he realizes that she could be a useful asset in helping him scavenge for food. With no other choice, Chen questions her qualifications to be his disciple, which surprises her. Despite this, he accepts her as his registered disciple, and once she passes his test, he will fully recognize her as his official disciple. Lin Bao is grateful for the opportunity, realizing that under Chen's teachings, she can improve her cultivation. Chen is suddenly interrupted by a system notification that gifts him 100 field value, greatly exciting him, while Lin Bao sits there wondering what is happening with Chen. However, their conversation is abruptly cut short when she notices that Chen smells bad, which surprises him. Chen then asks her to fill the vat with rainwater, to which she agrees and immediately leaves. After filling the vat with rainwater, Lin Bao notices a tiger-like creature and runs to inform Chen about the situation. Upon arriving at Chen's location, she tells him about the creature, which excites him as he sees it as an opportunity to earn more field value. With this in mind, he decides to go hunting for the tiger. The scene changes and we see the tiger, who is at the Golden Core realm, explaining that he was drawn to a very fragrant smell. However, upon arriving at the source of the smell, he witnessed Chen killing a ghost and a person, which frightened him greatly. The scene then shifts back to Chen, who is attempting to use the fragrance of his eternal body to attract the cute little tiger. The tiger soon detects the scent and runs towards Chen. When it reaches Chen's location, it charges into his invincible domain with the intention of eating him. However, Chen stops the tiger in its tracks by levitating it in the air. Chen then asks Lin Bao to kill the tiger, causing it to cry. As Lin Bao prepares to strike, she realizes that her attacks are ineffective. Chen, with no other option, grabs the sword and swiftly cuts the tiger in half, shocking Lin Bao. The system then awards Chen 800 points and informs him that he has enough field points to upgrade the invincible domain system to version 2, which has a new feature called All Living Things. Chen urges Lin Bao to take care of the tiger meat while he ponders on the upgrade. Chen ponders about the new feature, All Living Things, however the system assures him that he will understand after upgrading. Chen agrees to the upgrade, and upon awakening the All Living Things function, the system explains that Chen can now control and enhance the vitality of everything in the invincible domain. Chen is amazed by the new function and asks Lin Bao to bring him 2 flowers. She complies and Chen begins to increase the flower's cultivation level, leaving Lin Bao drooling with amazement. She asks how Chen was able to turn an ordinary leaf into a spirit herb of elixir level, but he pushes her away without answering. Using the function, Chen creates a mystical creature from ordinary grass, much to Lin Bao's surprise. He then makes an elixir containing life essence, which he hands over to Lin Bao. He names the creature Xiaoban, but is interrupted when he sees Lin Bao consuming the elixir, which helps her break through to a higher realm. As a result, the system awards Chen with 50 field value. The system explains that since Lin Bao is Chen's disciple, whenever she breaks through to a higher realm, he will receive field value, and the higher the realm, the higher the field value. This revelation greatly shocks Chen, who realizes that all he needs to do to get more field value is to get more disciples. Chen then decides to test the second feature of All Living Things, which is the ability to control everything in the invincible domain in the most suitable way. However, his attention is diverted, as a holy sword crashes into the temple covered in rust and debris, stunning Lin Bao, who realized that it could be an immortal treasure. Upon picking the sword, Chen senses that sword is weak and decides to heal it, removing all the debris, shocking Lin Bauer by its beauty. Upon realizing that he has no use for the sword, he hands it over to Lin Bauer, who feels a tremendous amount of power rush through her, before thanking Chen for the gift. Using the powers of his invincible domain, Chen repairs and cleans everything in the temple. However, his worries about the mystic creature are interrupted as Li Beishan, a Knight-level Golden Core Lord of the Evil Dragon Cavern, bursts through the temple roof, looking for Li Xiao and the immortal treasure that landed at the temple. Upon recognizing the man, Lin Bauer becomes frightened while Chen becomes annoyed. Suddenly, the scene shifts and we see another group of people arriving, the Ghost Bone sect, led by their patriarch Chu Qiantu, who has came to find the holy sword that has landed in the temple. However, upon realizing that the temple is filled with mystic treasures, Chu Qiantu is determined to take them all. However, he is interrupted by Li Beishan, who is ready to fight him for it. Chen, with a stern face, questions who they are to tear down his ceiling. As the battle for ownership of the temple continues, Chen becomes greatly annoyed and wants to kill the intruders to gain more field points. However, he can't do so because they are not in his invincible domain. Suddenly, Lin Bauer shouts at the intruders, questioning how dare they show such an attitude in front of her master and explaining to them that he killed Li Xiao, much to Li Beishan's surprise. However, they believe that Chen is just making it up since he is just a mere mortal. Li Beishan upon hearing this comes down prepared to fight Chen, and tries threatening Chen using a seal that contains the soul of 10,000 mortal. However, Chen remained unfazed by Li Beishan's attempt to use a seal containing 10,000 mortal souls against him and even taunted him to try. However, their exchange was interrupted by Lin Bauer, who called Li Beishan a bad man for causing the death of her fellow sect member. Li Beishan cut her off and attacked Chen with the seal, but Chen easily controlled it and regressed Li Beishan and his companion's cultivation level down to the Qi realm, surprising everyone, especially Chu Qiantu, who believed that Chen must be at least at the nascent realm to be able to do something like that. Lin Beishan was still stunned by what had happened, but Chen urged Lin Bauer to kill him and his minions. Lin Bauer quickly drew her holy sword and was about to strike Li Beishan, who underestimated her power. However, much to his shock, he was quickly obliterated, stunning Lin Bauer. The leader of the Ghost Bone sect is amazed by the power of the holy sword and considers killing Lin Bauer, but he realizes that he would be killed instantly if he made any sudden moves due to Chen's strength. Lin Bauer, still in awe of the sword's power, becomes greedy for more and starts killing the remaining followers of Li Beishan, which excites Chen because he can earn more field points this way. Once she is satisfied with her killing spree, Lin Bauer asks Chen if she should also kill the Ghost Bone sect members, explaining that they are an evil sect who turn people into ghost slaves. However, Chu Qiantu upon hearing this, comes flying down immediately and pleads for mercy with his other sect members, much to Chen's surprise. Chen gives the men a menacing stare as he questions if they think he is blind, knowing that their apology is insincere. Chu Qiantu immediately orders his men to attack Chen, but they are easily destroyed, giving Chu Qiantu a chance to escape. Lin Bauer informs Chen of Chu Qiantu's escape, but he remains unmoved. The scene then shifts to the Ghost Sect, where Chu Qiantu decides to report the matter to their Supreme Elder so that he can kill Chen and retrieve the immortal weapon. However, he is soon interrupted by someone rushing in and calling his name, informing him that their Supreme Elder has arrived, much to his shock and surprise. Upon arriving at the Ghost Bone Sect Ancestral Temple, the members of the Ghost Sect bow down to greet the Supreme Leader, while Chu Qiantu is left shocked by the immense pressure emanating from him. The Supreme Leader reveals that he has come down to the lower realm on the orders of the Lord, much to Chu Qiantu's surprise. Excited by the prospect of conquering the world with the Supreme Leader's strength, Chu Qiantu's thoughts are interrupted by the release of a tremendous amount of energy from the Supreme Leader, who warns him to abandon his petty aspirations or face destruction. When the Supreme Leader asks about the Holy Sword, Chu Qiantu admits that he knows its location, which causes the Supreme Leader to become excited and Chu Qiantu to become shocked, as he reveals that the sword is in the Immortal Temple. In the Immortal Temple, Chen and Lin Bauer are seated for a meal, and Chen is in a cheerful mood. As Chen eats, he ponders in thoughts, realizing that although the invincible domain has expanded to 22 meters, there is still a limited amount of food he could get within that range. As he contemplates, Chen realizes that when he first acquired the invincible domain, he only had the ability to fight, but now he can control everything within the domain, making him truly invincible. However, He also acknowledges that he is still a mere mortal outside the domain and unable to protect Lin Bauer, prompting him to decide to enhance her cultivation level. Abruptly, Chen pulls Lin Bauer aside and reveals that he can use the power of all living things to boost her cultivation, just like he did with the grass leaves. When they are outside, Chen informs her that he intends to improve her cultivation, but it will be painful. Lin Bauer is surprised by this, and she harbors impure thoughts, wondering if it is a dual cultivation technique, causing her mind to wander. Bauer initially hesitated, but with encouragement from Chen, she braced herself for the painful process of cultivation improvement. As Chen channeled his energy into her, the pain intensified and Bauer wanted to stop, but Chen urged her to persevere. Finally, after a long and grueling session, the cultivation improvement was successful, and a massive burst of energy shot into the sky, scaring away monsters and catching the attention of 3 nascent realm demon kings, Hong Yi, Tuoba Yi, and Snake Reverse. These 3 were also in search of the immortal treasure and speculated that the burst of energy was caused by it, so they decided to observe. Next, we see Bauer floating in the sky as instructed by Chen to absorb the energy of Thunder Tribulation. As the demon kings spot Bauer, they rush towards her location, but upon arriving, they see Chen by her side while she meditates to cultivate her energy. Upon reaching the Immortal Temple and witnessing Bauer's impressive cultivation level, the demon kings decide that they want her as their disciple instead of the immortal treasure. In a split second, Hong Yi charges towards Bauer, but is stopped by the 2 other demon kings who also desire her as their disciple, leading to a massive battle. However, upon coming to their senses, they decide to stop and allow Bauer to choose who she wants as her master. After Bauer successfully breaks through to the 3rd level of Golden Core, Chen and Bauer are interrupted by the demon kings, each offering her enticing opportunities and urging her to become their disciple. However, Bauer refuses their offers. After Bauer refused to become the demon king's disciple, they asked her why, and she explained that she already had a master and becoming an immortal or a god was easy for her as long as she is with him. They then asked who her master was, and Chen introduced himself as her master. However, the demon kings were surprised that Chen had no cultivation and questioned how a girl like Bauer could be his disciple. However, Chen was not bothered by this, urging them to attack him so they may understand why he is her master. In an instant, the demon king Tuoba Yi launched an attack on Chen, but to everyone's surprise, Chen remained unfazed. In a shocking turn of events, Chen pierced through Tuoba with a single finger, creating a massive hole in his chest that knocked him out cold. This incident left Chen questioning his suitability as Bauer master. The demon kings realized their mistake and apologized by presenting an immortal fruit as a token of their remorse. However, Chen in thoughts decided to take the 3 demon kings as his disciples, while Snake Reverse was scared for his life. Chen accepted the immortal fruit and asked Snake Reverse where he got it from. Snake explained that he obtained it from the Forbidden Zone in the ancient Bronze Mountain in Fengzhou. Chen was excited to learn that there were hidden treasures from the upper world in the Forbidden Zone. He urged Bauer to eat the immortal fruit and leave the core for him. After consuming the fruit, Bauer's body transformed into an immortal body, confirming what Chen's master had said about the fruit's powers. Bauer handed over the core to Chen, who dropped it on the ground, and much to everyone's surprise, an immortal tree sprouted from the spot. Chen pondered on what to do with the demon kings, but they begged for mercy, including Tuoba Yi, who had been unconscious earlier. Chen decided to give them a chance and offered to take them as his disciples or face death. To his surprise, all 3 agreed to become his disciples, and Chen decided to upgrade their cultivation as a gift. As he began the cultivation improvement process, a thunderstorm suddenly appeared. However, Chen uses the thunder to restore their vitality and heal their wounds, much to the thunder annoyance. Later, we see that the demon kings have successfully improved their cultivation. Chen inquired about the extent of their progress, and Snake Reverse suggested using a talent stone to determine their cultivation levels. The demon kings were thrilled to learn that they had improved to the 8th level of the nascent realm, but Chen was not satisfied and aimed to upgrade them to the 9th level in the future. Hong Yi suggested that Bauer check her cultivation level, and as she took the talent stone, it started changing colors until it turned to gold and vanished, leaving everyone stunned as they wonder why the color vanished. Bauer, upon seeing this, began crying, thinking her cultivation is gone. However, Snake explained that the talent stone reaction is a result of the fact that Bauer is now an immortal.